Welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. My name is Dave Dubeau, publisher of Canadian Profits, and I want to first start out with a big shout out to all the moms out there. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, so guys, remember Mother's Day this weekend. Remember to take your wife a bouquet of flowers. You know how it works. And I want to send a special hello and I love you to my mom, Yvonne. Love you, Mom. And my mom's been talking to me a little bit about I shouldn't be moving my hands around so much on TV, so I'll try and keep it calm down, Mom. What are we going to be talking about today? Business breakthrough. We're going to be talking about tracking who's doing what. With our real estate tip, we're going to be talking about one of our profit centers, which is mortgage paydown. And for our mindset minute, one of my favorite concepts, which is fail forward fast. So stay tuned. All right, so for today's business breakthrough, we're going to talk about tracking who's doing what. This is very important, even if you're a one-person show, because chances are you've got different people helping you out with different responsibilities and activities. So for example, in our business, what we do that's working quite well for us is we've got a big tracking board for different projects. And so Derek, I'll get you to take a screenshot of that just so everybody can see it. And we've got each project laid out and the dates and who's doing what and when they need to be done by. So that's very, very helpful for us. Even if you're a one-person show, I'd suggest that you do that because chances are you've got suppliers who need to be doing certain things. If you're getting something printed, or you're getting something produced, something created, you've got people doing that. So mark down who's doing what, when they need to be starting, when it should be ending, and what the status of that is. If you keep it all in one place, it's much, much easier to keep track of. So that's your business breakthrough for this week. All right, real estate tips for this week. It's one of our profit centers, one of my favorite profit centers, which is mortgage paydown. So this is something a lot of people don't really think about. But if you buy an investment property, a revenue property, a rental property, and you've got a renter in there, a tenant in there, every month they're paying you rent, right? Obviously. Well, that rent, most of that is probably going to help you pay your mortgage. But actually, your tenant is also helping to pay your mortgage off because in your mortgage payment, especially at the beginning, there's a big component of that which is all interest. There's a smaller component of that which is the principal pay down, the actual amount that you borrowed getting paid down every single month. So by having a revenue property, your tenant is effectively buying the house for you. They're paying your interest and they're paying the principal amount that you borrowed down every single month. So it starts off small, but over time that can grow. That can be a huge, huge profit center. It's phantom profit. You're not getting that directly in your pocket. However, it does show up on your net worth statement. And if you're holding that property for the long term, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you can actually have that tenant or those tenants pay the whole property off for you, where at the end of the time, it's completely free and clear. So that's that profit center, mortgage pay down. Make sure you pay attention to that. Make sure if you have revenue properties, your accountant is taking that into account because you need to have that all straightened for your bookkeeping. That's your real estate tip for this week. All right, today's Mindset Minute, I want to talk to you about failing forward fast. What does that mean? Well, basically the concept is this. Most of us, myself included sometimes, we're very, very afraid to try something new for fear of failure. That's a big mistake. Something that we might have been instilled to us probably in school by getting punished every time we got something wrong, getting poor grades when we made mistakes. That's not how real life works. If you play it safe in real life, you're always going to get mediocre average results. You need to take some chances. You need to take some risks. You need to make some mistakes. So again, I can't remember who it was. It was somebody like Henry Ford or Andrew Carnegie, one of those really, really bright old-time guys, said if you want to double your rate of success, double your rate of failure. Actually, I think it was Rockefeller that said that. If you want to double your rate of success, double your rate of failure. Fail forward fast. So that means go out, try new stuff. Don't be afraid to flop. Again, be very, if it involves a lot of money, time or effort or something like that, you have to be conservative about that. You have to be careful about how you're doing it. You don't want to just be gambling. But take calculated risks and don't be afraid to make mistakes, especially if you're learning a new skill. Here's the big thing. when you're learning a new skill, like approaching potential investors, for example, don't think that you have to be perfect getting right off the start. You should practice a bit, but go out there and start doing it. And be prepared to fail at first, because the only way you're going to get any better is by having a few flops. Again, it goes back to the whole thing. When you're a baby, did you learn how to walk immediately? No. You started out crawling, then you got up, you teetered around a little bit, you fell on your butt a whole bunch of times. Didn't stop you, didn't even phase you, you just got up and kept trying. Somewhere along the line, a lot of us lost that. We need to really regain that whole concept of not being worried so much about making mistakes and failing. Go ahead, give it a try, be prepared to make mistakes, embrace them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. That's your Mindset Minute. Thanks again for watching this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. I invite you to submit your questions. I'd be happy to answer your questions on air. Next, we're going to be answering a question from one of our viewers. Also, any comments, love to hear your comments, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Just let us know what you think of the program. And next week, we're going to be talking about, for our business breakthroughs, tracking your numbers. Very, very important. I'm not going to be talking about boring accounting stuff because I can't stand that stuff either, but tracking your key numbers, very, very important. We're going to be talking about another profit center of real estate investing, which is cash flow. We all like cash flow, so we'll be talking about that a little bit more. And for our Mindset Minute, we're talking about stretching your comfort zone. So stay tuned and talk to you next week.
CanadianProfit.ca, your one source for Canadianized information, education, inspiration, webinars, teleclasses, and so much more. If you invest in real estate or own a business, you're at the right place. CanadianProfits.ca, CanadianProfits.ca, for Canadians just like you. CanadianProfits.ca. Not already a member? Take a test drive and get a free book. Just click on one of the banners to the right of the video. You'll be glad you did. CanadianProfits.ca, for Canadians just like you. CanadianProfits.ca.